new episode of How to Avoid a Mr. H. Nice. One of my favorite quotes, I'm a Broadway baby, and one of my favorite quotes from Into the Woods is this line of, "You're so nice. You're not good, you're not bad, you're just nice." You know, Bernadette Peters absolutely killing it. And if you've looked back at some of the more recent episodes, nice is going to become an overarching theme because it's one of the ways fake people, narcissistic people, enter your lives. They are nice. And nice and kind are totally different. Kind is more, obviously, kindness is genuine. And genuine is something that we pick up intuitively. And one of the things that I don't think it's by chance we live in systems that really judge and crush intuition. And if you are an abuse survivor like myself, intuition is the first thing that your abuser has to take away, especially if you are, my father abused me, and if you have a parent who abuses you. The first thing that they take away is your ability to kind of distinguish between words and actions, to see beneath the surface, right? You know, there's that saying, the greatest thieves wear suits. That ability to kind of, my friend was laughing because I always say, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, just call it chicken. It's that kind of energy of, no, I really do think it's a duck. And if we call it a duck, we could learn how to handle the situation better, prevent the situation. Saying things the way they are helps you learn what you want from them, what you can get from them, how to avoid them, how to embrace them. Seeing reality is the very first step to building your fantasy, to building your fantasy life and making the fantasy real, not making reality a fantasy. It's switch. And niceness has always been weird because my father looked nice and he spoke nicely and he wouldn't always, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Abuse doesn't happen because there's not some level of trust, because there's not some level of training brought in by good acts, or good acts that are actually bad, but you can't call them that bad. Like when my father, we met up, he got me, there was like a 3 for 2 special on perfumes and he gave me the third free one. My father never gave me anything, so I guess that was nice. It was the free perfume, but he had to pay. It was expensive, the first 2. And it's kind of like that energy of like, like I asked for coffee, and you could see the episode Open Bag of Coffee. He got me he literally put in a plastic bag an open used bag of coffee that he brought from home. Couldn't even get me a new one. This man had millions. And he went from poor addict begging my mom for money in her kitchen to millionaire. Wow, I didn't know avoiding child support. Damn, millions in child support? I didn't know avoiding child support could be so lucrative. But the thing is, he got the perfume. And it's one of those, I guess I guess it was a gift. And I guess it was expensive. And I guess I can't say I got only abuse. Mind you, I ended up crying at the mall because of a hot mess. He went to go buy gifts for all of his other friends and women and grandkids and left me. And it was such a weird time because it was the last time I realized that my father didn't want me and never wanted me and wanted to get rid of me, but wanted the pity of saying the child left, right? It's kind of like I set ablaze. It's kind of like, it's like I torched your home, but you left it. And it's like, well, did you want me to burn in it? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you, that Jennifer Lawrence mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? That kind of energy. And I recently came up with episode Last of the Fake Friends, and it's about Lucy. And it's a recurring theme in my life of just falling for kind words amidst poorer actions and poorer behaviors, and kind of seeing red flags and turning them pink so I could tolerate them, so that for a while I could say I have a friend even though they're a fake friend. I could say I have a boyfriend even though it's a toxic boyfriend. I could say that I'm working for someone even though they're paying me poorly and they're taking my ideas, right? I I was so trained to live in danger and call it safe. And that's what niceness is. And one of my biggest kind of things that I'm trying to wrap my brain around is that there are people who could say my father was kind to them. And whether or not, what was genuine about him? Is he both genuinely evil and genuinely kind? Are they all with some level of emotional distance? Are they masked? Because he never did anything without ulterior motives or some level of intention for attention. And then it's like, if there's ulterior motives, then is nothing genuine, and does it matter? Does the genuine intentions of someone else matter compared to the genuine feelings they spark in you? Because as I wrap my brain around all these relationships that I had that are just poor, that are just hot messes. If you've noticed, I've said a few times, I don't think I've ever experienced true love. At the very least, I have never experienced healthy love, pure love, unconditional, unlimited love beyond my pets. Which is why sometimes and I've noticed a lot of people say this on the internet. There are a lot of people who feel safer with animals than human beings. Because a human being, bear or man, bear, it may be a risk, but men are riskier. Trust. And niceness and being pretend kindness is unsafe. And making me feel genuinely about you when you don't feel anything for me at all is cruel. And that was the thing about Lucy. And that was the thing about my dad. And that was the thing about a lot of the characters that you're going to meet. They were, again, you don't stay in abuse because there wasn't some level of good. They were all fun, but they were all mean. They would show up for me, at least initially, but then abandon me. And not even like how I showed up for myself, Don't give me that idea. Don't just take it all for you. The producer one time said, you're obsessed with reciprocity. And I didn't take that as a red flag. Of course, you should be obsessed with reciprocity. Of course, you should be obsessed with giving as much as receiving. You need both to build a genuine relationship. But then there are people who are nice, who do give to receive, and don't have to give their heart to give, but do want to receive yours. And there's something about that is inherently endangering, and I don't think is good. And I really want to be measured when I do daddy recovery, because, vilifying your villain, there's a difference between accepting that someone is evil versus making that evil mindless. I don't want to, my father was empty, but I don't want to empty him. Yes, he was evil, but there was a history there. There were traumas. There were the same traumas he handed them over to me. And I think for a lot of abuse victims, our big question, especially if you suffer from parental abuse, is, am I the evil that my father was? Could I be as evil as my father was? He swore he wouldn't be evil and he became it. What is the difference between both of us? And I say often, just because you have trauma doesn't mean you're not traumatizing. That's one way to catch it. If you find that every time somebody challenges you on whether or not you are as virtuous as you claim, you get a vendetta against them, that's a nice little doorway to the evil path, dark one. But I think it's also, I'm trying to learn that it's okay to dislike people. And we have a few episodes coming up on that. It's okay to say, we don't click, and not necessarily vilify them, but also not allow yourself to be vilified by them. And that's kind of what happened with Lucy in the end. This kind of, she tried to isolate me from our mutual group of friends, and now they hang out with me, they hang out with her, whatever is heard through the grapevine, cool. But it's this act of, you're not good enough to enter my world, but I define my world as these are these people, and I don't like it when you're with them, and I'm going to try to do as many events and make sure you can't come, and I'm gonna arrange their birthdays, and even though they want to invite you, they're not going to invite you to the birthday I hold for them, because they know I don't like you and you don't like me. But the problem is, I never allowed myself. Well, really, I was trained to love everybody. And because I'm very loving in my nature, that training almost became, well, it did. It became extremely toxic. You can't love everybody. You shouldn't love everybody. If love is, the grand irony of love is that because love is everything, you shouldn't love everybody. Love is respect. Love is kindness. Love is peace. You can't just be giving that to everybody, because you're not going to be getting that from everybody. And what I am trying to learn is, you can have a life without me, and I can have a life without you. But I was so taught to make everybody center except me, and so punished if I did. I'm trying to relearn the power of saying no, because I learned the power of handling it. Everything was no. No, you can't eat that. No, you can't say that. No, you can't do that. And because my nature is so adaptable, and I do like a lot of things, I was praised for my ability to enter people's world and enjoy it and relish it, but punished if I wanted to make my own. I was praised for how I adapted and participated in others' lives, but judged if I even claimed to have my own, separate from them. And that's not healthy. We are people joining each other's lives. We are sharing. We are not becoming each other. And I think in some ways I became my friends. I became my partners. I became my bosses. I became them. And I resented what they took from me, because I didn't get the reward not only they promised, but I was taught you get. If you dim your light, somebody's going to sparkle you. If you're kind to somebody, they're going to be kind back. They're going to say thank you. And no, they don't. Like, there are people that exist exactly like my dad that can really ruin your life and take everything from you, and honestly think they are the victims if you just say they did that. If you prove they did that. If you show they did that. Their actions made you a victim, but your reaction makes them a victim to themselves. And that's the problem with nice people. That's what's so dangerous about nice people. Nice is a mask. It's a cover. And that's why they are inevitably villainous in some ways. Because to take someone's genuine feelings to measure how they will end up giving you more, or how they can give you more, without you ever giving to them or wanting to give to them, there's something inevitably off about that. There's something inevitably mean about that. And we call that networking. We call that networking. Seeing what everybody can give you and jotting down names without making a genuine relationship. And there are people who view networking and dating as one and the same, building friendships as networking. Because it's true, your network is your net worth. But I came here for love as much as prosperity. Abundance isn't just money. It's meaning. What you mean to people. Not how you money them or milk them, in my dad's case. And I really do have a gripe with niceness. Maybe I'll put that as a title, The Gripes of Nice. Because I have fallen into the trap of nice people a lot of times. And climbing out of it is always rough because it hits you spiritually and materially. You have to ignore a lot of red flags behind their smiles to build a friendship, to build a partnership, to build a businessmanship with them, just to end up empty. And it's almost like an energy transfer. The emptiness they were always moving with, they left you with. John Mulaney syndrome. Look it up. It's an episode. And you don't ever walk away after falling on the trap of a nice person, not feeling stupid, not feeling like I had to kill a part of me to like them or to believe they liked me. You know, Lucy always corrected me. And